Hey guys, it's been a while, a very long while. I definitely didn't intend to take a year off from this channel and not post, but here we are. And I'm not proud. I'm not proud of the fact that like my last video was early 2025. But it is what it is. Truthfully, I had a really busy year last year, both personally and professionally, and this channel just went to the bottom of my priority list, and I hate that. But we're changing that today. Everything changes today. We're going to be posting on this channel more. And I promise I'm serious this time. I'm thinking like 1 to 2 times a month, but we're so back. Also, some quick life updates that I never really spoke about on this channel before, but I'm no longer a software engineer. And to be honest, I don't miss it. And I'll explain why in this video. Okay, so like I said, I never mentioned this on this channel before, but I actually left software engineering in May of 2024. I was a senior software engineer at Bloomberg when I decided to take a sabbatical. And sabbatical, why, you ask, right? I was burnt out. I was completely burnt out, and I needed a break. So it wasn't sudden. It was something I was feeling for over 2 years before I actually took the leap, even before I joined Bloomberg. So it wasn't because of that job that I left. Because of that, I started like slowly stockpiling money into what I call my quit account, because I knew a day would come where it would just be time for me to go. And that day definitely came. And as much as I wanted to hold out, I actually was like truly burnt out. When I tell you I had brain fog, I could not, I feel like I couldn't think clearly. I couldn't remember things. It was just bad. My blood pressure was high. Like I was just completely losing it. And it got to the point where like it really was affecting my like physical and mental health. And that's when I knew like, okay, I've reached my wits end. I also started feeling this like heaviness in my chest that I never really felt before. Like I'm generally like I'm pretty like easygoing, happy person, but like something about working just made me so like sad. So yeah, there were signs. So in hindsight, I definitely know some of the reasons why I think I burnt out. I think one of the overarching issues is just that like software engineering as a role wasn't what I expected it to be. And like granted, I did the job for 7 years and like I'm not saying I would never do it again, but I think what I expected and what was reality were different. And I think it was just inevitable that eventually I would just, burn out from it. So I'm gonna get into the two major reasons why I think I burnt out. So let's start with my two major cons. And by the way, I wrote all this down in my notes because, like I said, I don't want this video to be too long, and I have a tendency to ramble. So if you see me looking at my notes and it looks a little scripted, it's because it is a little bit. So, anyways, so the first one is that software engineering isn't as creative of a role as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be building all these like cool features I could tell my friends and family about, and I'd have all this creative control. But a lot of times you're just updating someone else's code that they wrote like 5 years ago and just hoping that it doesn't break. At least at large companies. If you work for a startup, you might have a little bit more creative control, but you're also probably being overworked and underpaid. Otherwise, like at larger companies, you're more of like just a cog in a wheel, pretty much. And I just started to like, I just wasn't. I was no longer excited about what my future looked like as a software developer. The more I progressed in my career. Okay, so my next con of software engineering, which I'm very sure was like the major reason I burnt out, is that when things break, especially in production, there's no let's fix this tomorrow. There's no let's fix this after lunch. It's always fix it right now because the company's losing money and customers are pissed. If you're on call and production is down, you may be paged at 3 a.m. to go fix it, and usually with very little help. Which for me, a lot of times meant I had to cancel after work plans or show up late or just always have to carry my laptop around just in case I needed to pull it out and help debug something. And while it wasn't a daily occurrence and like happened fairly rarely, there were multiple times in my career at different companies where I've had to be on Zoom calls with my coworkers at 11 p.m., sometimes midnight, trying to figure out an issue in production. So I felt like I never really had clear boundaries around my day. And while yes, I could say I'm only working from 9 to 5 and those are my boundaries, When your coworkers and your boss are all working outside of their normal work hours in addition to the 9 to 5, it's hard to be the only one putting your foot down. Plus, I always try to help my coworkers if they're ever trying to debug an issue by themselves or like with little help, just because it's stressful to be in a situation where your boss and your boss's boss are like waiting for you to fix some issue. It's a lot of pressure. Like I said, you can't go take a nap if you wanted to, right? Like it needs to be fixed at that moment. And so I always try to like make sure I help people if I have the time, just because I also wanted them to help me when I was in that situation. And I think everywhere I've worked so far and like every team I've been on, I think that's kind of the relationship where like you help each other out because you never know when you're going to be in that hot seat. So let's get to my pros. The number one, probably obvious, is money. I love money. I love payday. What a great time. What a moment when you open your bank account and there's new money in there. I like that. And that was one of the reasons that I stayed as long as I did. Love the free perks, love the snacks, love the fact that you could work from home. That was also pretty cool. I mean, everyone could during COVID, but um, there's just more flexibility with being able to work on your computer. But I do think there were a lot of perks that kept me there longer than I wanted to. If you work in the tech industry or just corporate America in general, you know them as like the golden handcuffs, where like they give you enough stuff to make you want to stay, even though the rest is not ideal. So I definitely had those golden handcuffs for a while. Outside of money, though, actually, I'm really grateful that I worked as a software engineer. I think it made me more resourceful, more ambitious, it made me smarter. And I think another pro is that I've been able to work with like some really smart people. And I learned a lot from them, not just about like tech and computer science, but about personal finance and different cultures and business, like all types of things. And I would say for the most part, I'd work with some really great people. For the most part, not everyone. So I say all this to say, it was tough at times, but overall, I think I had a great experience, and like I wouldn't say I would never do it again, but I don't really miss it, and I truly burnt out from it, and I don't want to do that again. Okay, so anyways, I basically took a sabbatical or a mini retirement, as the kids say, between May of 2024 and 2025, and that was nice. Not working suits me well. Anyways, I traveled to Japan for the first time. That was fun. Went for 2 weeks, went to Tokyo, Osaka, all the major cities. I got to explore New York City during the day. For context, I live in New York, and obviously, I during the workday, I didn't really have a lot of time to just just explore the city during work hours. So that's been nice. Did a lot of walking. I walked from the top of Manhattan, like the Bronx, all the way down, um, and then across the Brooklyn Bridge with my friend one day. That was fun. I think that was like 15 miles. But just in general, like I just love to walk around the city. But one of the more important things that I did during that time was work on this channel. I started this channel as kind of like a passion project, pretty much. And when I left my job, I think I had like 300 subscribers. So the fact that I have over 12,000 subscribers now is crazy. And I'm grateful for all you guys that are here that have subscribed. And I hope you're looking forward to some new videos from me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I promise you, I try my best to make some really cool videos, and I accept all types of feedback. So if you don't like it, let me know. But anyways, I had more time to work on this channel, and I enjoyed it, and I want to be more consistent with it again. Also, I know you guys might be a little confused because I just said I quit software engineering, and this is very deliberately a tech channel. But I didn't quit because of the engineering itself. Just quit because of the role and because of the corporate structure of it all. I really love learning about how things work behind the scenes. I got my degree in engineering science, so I've been doing engineering deep dives for over a decade now, and it's still like really interesting to me. My goal at this channel has always been to teach how everyday tech works in a way that is accessible to everyone, whether you're technical or not. So if you're interested in more videos like that, please subscribe. And if you subscribe from my previous videos, thanks for still being here. Okay, so to wrap up this timeline, once my year off and my savings were coming to an end at the beginning of like May 2025, I started looking for roles again. And I decided I wasn't gonna look for engineering roles because I forgot to mention this, but like part of the sabbatical was just like on top of just taking a true mental health break, it's like figuring out what I'm doing next with my career. So I started looking for roles that were for developer advocates and solution architects. And I ended up getting a role or getting an offer as a developer advocate. And if you're not familiar with what developer advocates are, they're essentially like I always tell people they're like in between engineering and marketing, where if a company has a software product, they're trying to market to software developers, software engineers, and the developer advocate basically helps foster community between the company and the developers and also helps them onboard, whether it's like through tutorials, blog posts. A lot of developer advocates go do talks and stuff. So that's what that role is. And for me, I'm more on the content side. So I make a lot of video tutorials for my company. And funnily enough, I this channel helped me get that job. I put this channel on my resume as I was looking for roles again, and it just so happened that um, the company that I ended up working for, that I work for now, they were looking for a developer advocate that focused on video. I'm not going to mention the company that I work for now, just because I don't like to um, talk about where I'm working while I'm actively working there. You can. I'm not that hard to find, but I would prefer not to like publicly say it on this channel. But yeah, I really love it so far. It's very I think it's more aligned with, who I am and my interests. I think I get the both the technical and the creative, which is what I mentioned, like, wanting from the software engineering job. And I'm happy. So that's my story. Um, and yeah, I don't have much else to say. But thank you for watching if you made it this far. Actually, leave a check mark if you made it this far, because I'm curious to know who's still here. But I appreciate you for watching, and I hope you subscribe and stay tuned for more videos.